I learned this from my math teacher. She was talking about a pair of students she had a few years ago. They were not the best students, but they had quite a few commitments, so she asked them how they were coping. And they said, "Oh, we just do your math homework on the train to school every morning." And that was when she was inspired to start using her pockets of time to be productive. She told herself that she was going to be productive. So now, when she was teaching students like me and my classmates, she would bring up stories of how she would be at the hairdresser, and while waiting for the hairdresser, she would take out her iPad and start marking students' work. Or when she's stuck in traffic, she would also get her iPad out and start marking her work. You know, there seems to be never a time when she's doing something that isn't productive, or that she feels isn't productive. What do I mean by that? I mean that she still has a balanced life. She still spends time with family, she still exercises and has balance in her life. I feel like successful people are like my math teacher. They are just addicted, obsessed with putting in the most effort they can. They thrive on challenge. Just imagine that version of you, which saw every single moment of the day as an opportunity to get better, to do some more work, to be productive. Imagine that version of you that did work on the train, that constantly envisioned your goals. Imagine how much time you would save if you just started doing work while on the train or during your pockets of time. You know, recently, after she told us this story, I realized for the past few months, I've been so unproductive. There were so many pockets of time where I could have done more work, where I could have studied, I could have read a book, I could have put my phone down and talked to my friends. I could have laughed. So I started listening to my math teacher. I started using my pockets of time more wisely. I started revising my notes on the train. I started listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast or Alex Hormozi's podcast on the bus. I stopped using social media as much during my free time. And I can tell you, it works wonders. I think I did it best when it was last year during the end of year examinations period when we were all stressing. I would take out my phone, go onto Google Classroom, click onto the biology slides, and then I just take one random topic and just read it. And you don't realize how much just reading a set of slides, how helpful it can be. It allows your brain to be reminded of what it has learned. Because I did that, I got the highest scores for the biology test in the end, in my class. I got an A. So I think that proves just how effective using your pockets of time really is. So how do you start using your pockets of time? Well, first, you have to find out where your pockets of time really are. So for me, I would say mine are definitely when I travel. I use the train or bus, and in between classes, because teachers take time to switch classes, and we have some 5 minutes here and there. But for you, it may be different. You may have a different schedule, different timings to follow, so you have to find your own pockets of time. Once you have found your pockets of time, this is the part people miss out. You have to plan the day before. So you can't just use your pockets of time and just expect yourself to do work spontaneously. Some people can. My math teacher probably can. But you have to plan it out first to see if you're actually capable of doing even more work that day. So, for example, sometimes I would tell myself to finish writing a script for a video, or finish getting a script idea on the train that day. I would plan the day before, the night before, and then when the time came, it was the hardest part. The hardest part was not relapsing back into your bad habits, into your old habits of scrolling or pointlessly texting. That is the hardest part. But that is why you have to plan the day before. Because when you plan the day before, you tell your brain and you prepare your brain for the activity that is going to come. You tell your brain to shut up, not to make any excuses, and to do the work even though you don't feel like it. So, I hope you can take this advice and start using your pockets of time more wisely. I hope this video has helped you. Bye bye.